Hello everyone, how's it going? Dr. Incompetent here, and let's resume our complete beginner's guide to Hollow Knight, shall we? Alright, so let's talk to our buddy Elderbug and see if he has any new story for us. He says, did you visit that temple? A strange building, I've heard, though I'd never dared the journey myself. The braver among us once went there to pray, said they felt at peace within the walls. After a while, they stopped going. I wonder what changed. So we know what we need to do. I'm going to open up the map, and we're going to just click on the Forgotten Crossroads and zoom in. We want to just start exploring the areas of the map that we haven't yet been, and we want to start making geos so that we can purchase all of the map upgrades from Izelda in the shop there, because they're going to just make us so much, not stronger, but they're going to make our life so much easier in the game. Now, here's something that I want to talk about that I did not discuss in the first video that I think is worth mentioning. It's an advanced technique. I didn't want to overwhelm with too much information up front, but it's a technique that is required in certain boss fights or certain places. It's not all the time required. There's other ways to do things. So the ability that I want to show you is basically called pogo jumping or pogo striking, where what you're going to do is you're going to jump and then you're going to push down or look down and then attack with your nail at the same time that you would just about impact the object below you, and instead of hitting that object you will strike it with the nail and jump back up in the air. Now this is something that you can actually practice pretty easily on low stakes enemies like this right by the bench. But you see how I got hit because, you know, I came back down. But you'll notice how when I jumped over this guy, I kind of just hit him and bounced back up in the air. That's the pogo jump. I'm bad at it, and I'm going to tell you right up front. I find the timing to not always be as easy, especially on the second one there, for myself anyway. But good players at this game can do it to great effect. Now, the reason I show it to you is because it's something that's very, very useful, even for exploration. You remember when I showed you that bed of spikes before? That was like, oh, that's too long. We can't get across that. You can actually pogo jump or nail jump across a bed of spikes if you time it exactly right for the duration of the spike pit, and there's a place for you to land eventually. I don't necessarily recommend it myself because, like I said, I'm bad at it. Like, I barely can do it. There we go. That was 2 in a row without taking any damage. Now, there are some trinkets or charms that you'll be able to get later when we start getting those that will make it easier for you to do this. But it's a technique that's just worth knowing about. And you can practice it right here, like I said, because these enemies are right next to... There we go. I only got hit once. That's sort of an improvement. Right next to a bench. So you can get your health back. And you might as well think about doing it, because you can also practice it on some of these environment objects like you see right there that are destructible. Not plants, but the ones that crumble that are more substantial you can do that with. Oh boy. I needed to jump again. Oh boy. Oh boy. And like I said, I'm not great at it, but it's not something you necessarily have to be great at. It makes your life easier. If you want to be a professional player, do the harder difficulty levels, time attack, you know, all of that stuff. Well, yeah, you need to be really good at that. But it's still worth knowing about. And you can practice it right here while you're just grinding for geos to try to buy the stuff from the shop. We need a lot of geos. Bafanada. We need at least 100 to get a pin. And we definitely want the compass, if at all possible, because it'll just make navigating so much better. So we're going to kind of explore. I'm not going to practice doing that pogo jump forever, okay, because I don't want to spend the time. But this, like, bug carriage thing, you can practice it on this. There you go. You can practice it on this. There you go. And just get that timing down. I like to just fight most of the time, but it can be super useful to try this technique and get it into your bag of tricks, because it'll make your life easier in the game. All right. Now, one thing what you're going to do when you're looking around in Hollow Knight is just observing, like, where are places where I can make a bunch of geos easily? Because if I need to gather a ton, like, where might there be a place that I can just sit there and farm? This isn't a bad place. There's a lot of enemies on this screen, but the verticality of it and the flying enemies and just the overall low geo count as a reward doesn't make it ideal, because the geos drop down really far. Also, by the way, it's worth mentioning, you notice how I'm downward striking to pogo jump. You can also push up and strike above you. So you can attack up with the nail. And the big arc of the nail and the animation of it shows its hitbox, basically. So it's a sweeping attack. It's a big, strong attack that covers a lot of ground. And you can use this to your advantage to strike annoying enemies that are, like, flying around or, on the ceiling or whatever. You can also use pogo jumping to access areas where it's like you want to get across something and you can hit an enemy and then pogo jump and then cross a bigger distance than you normally would be able to. That kind of stuff. But seldom is it required to beat the game to do that. It just helps you find secrets, explore, get a little further. It also can combo with some abilities that you get later. For example, you're going to get a double jump at some point in this game, as you do in pretty much every Metroid-Vania. And the pogo jump will reset your double jump. So you can pogo, then jump twice again, stuff like that. It's really useful. I'm trying to get over there. I don't know if I can get it with what I currently have, unless... if I would have made that jump, I think I would have got it. Pogo jumping would be good. Now watch this. Cornifer's still here, but when I come back up, you'll see that the enemies respawn. So this is something that you want to take advantage of for farming. Like, if you really, really want to farm a spot to get yourself a bunch of geos, you can find an enemy that's easy that drops a bunch and then just refresh the screen. There we go. And let's go over here. What's this? So I'm going to look at the map, and I'm going to show you. This is another area. There's spikes all over the bottom. These spikes you can pogo off, okay? So if you're about to hit them, you could pogo. Oh, there's spikes falling from the ceiling as well. Let's try to get those out of here. But I'm going to get rid of all of these flying guys to, see if I don't have to make my life a nightmare. I don't advise pogoing off these unless you, A, get really comfortable and are extremely skilled with the timing and don't have a problem, or you're about to fall and hit them anyway, or you want to just experiment, you have plenty of health, and you want to see if you can get to the other side. Up here, what's this? This guy, if you hit him, he will restore your soul. So we can go ahead and heal, and you hit him, and he's going to give you some soul meter and some more soul meter, and now we're filled, and he will turn off eventually. He only has a set amount that he can give you, but it's very nice. And I'm going to keep going this way, and you'll notice that this is simply an area I can't do. I'm going to need some techniques to be able to jump off the wall to make this happen. So I'm going to turn around. I don't believe you can pogo jump off the side and then pogo all the way around to make that happen. And I'm not going to try. But you can experiment with that if you want. But usually what I do in Metroid-Vania is I just take a gander at it. Maybe I'll experiment. Maybe I'll try. And then I'll just, say, okay, let's go back there. That would be a good place maybe to set your pin if you buy it from Zelda. You could set your pin and be like, let's go back there later when I get new abilities. Right now, I'm not going to focus on something that looks too hard for me. I already have a good amount of geo. Let's go down here and keep exploring this section. I didn't do much. I just talked to Cornifer. So let's kind of bounce around down below, and he's still here. You could talk to him. Oh, by the way, I haven't introduced myself yet, have I? Yes, I should apologize for that. When you spend a lot of time by yourself with just your own thoughts, you forget the niceties of conversation. My name is Cornifer, and I've always loved exploring the world. Why, when I first hatched and I wandered off immediately, leaving my brothers and sisters and poor mother behind. That's why, as soon as I could, I moved to Dirtmouth with my wife, a huge, unending kingdom to explore, right on our doorstep. Who could resist? Anyway, I'll let you return to your travels. With a little luck, we'll meet again. Be safe and farewell. Thank you. Alright, so he's still here chilling. We could drop this way, or we could go this way. Let's see. Alright, there's a big bed of spikes down here. Anything good? Oh boy. They're falling from the very ceiling to smash us. Okay, you see those worms in the background? And there's a worm that's shooting up right here. Now, this is actually a good example. This worm, we can't hurt him. Oh god. Yes, okay. That's why spikes are bad. When you get hit by a spike, it's not like you are in the spike field and you have some invulnerability frames and you can readjust. The game like flashes and you kind of respawn above them. So it can be very disorienting, and it's a lot of damage to take. But when you hit something, you bounce backward or they bounce backward, depending. And in this case, we bounce off him because we don't do any damage. But wait a minute, bounce off him? Yes, indeed. We could pogo to get to that big stack of geo. Now, I timed that badly. I needed to hit him a little bit higher up. Let's just wait till he comes out, and then... There we go. So that's using the pogo to get a secret. Now, remember, like, it's not required. If I didn't do that, I just wouldn't get those extra geos. But I did, and so I could get some more. These guys are just about making sure you don't get hit by them, and they're very predictable rhythm. Can't hurt them right now. Just move on. Now, this water right here, most of the time in this game, and I think pretty much all the time, actually, water is bad. So if you fall in this, you will take damage you do not want to, and you will kind of respawn just like you did when you hit the spikes. So you need to avoid landing in that. Now, here's an enemy that's new, that's like making little other guys. He's like shooting out babies, or she's shooting, I don't know. And unfortunately, you could see that that enemy dropped a bunch of geos, but they all went into this poisonous water, so we don't get it. And it's sad. Oh, but look what... Oh, my God. Oh, boy, that was double whammy. Okay. Well, boy, do we have a choice to make here. We have 1 health, so we could risk it for the biscuit. But what you want to do is just make sure there's no more spikes. That was... You see, the spike hit me and then knocked me into the water. So again, this is how Hollow Knight works. I got so excited because of what I saw over there, and the game was like, oh, no, 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 you need to be cautious. I'm going to punish you if you try to get that treasure. And it did. It dropped a spike. Now, we look up. There's no more spikes. Let's go over here and get this. Break the glass and rescue this guy. And he's happy, and he digs back into the ground. Now, if you remember, we saw someone who... might have been missing some friends. And let's go visit that individual. Now, if we die here, it's not a big deal, because we know where we're at. We can get back here. But make sure there's no spikes, because we can't take any damage at all. And wait a minute, we can't take any damage at all. Yes, we can, if we heal. Let's heal up. And you'll notice with a full tank, I had enough for 3 basically, I mean, hearts, I guess, or 3 health. So we got 3 pips of health from full focus. Oh my gosh. Cornifer's just humming as like we're about to die. But that changed it. Now, I should have healed immediately. But, hey, now we did. And we're good. Now, if the guy that we're looking for is up, up, up. Remember, the map does not change and recalculate what we have added until we get to a bench. So we can't sit down until we use our magic quill and add on. It's not really magic, I guess. I'm just writing on it, but it's very nice. We can't do that until we get to a bench. But we're going to change the map a lot because we've just been exploring. Now let's go back over here. Oh, God. That guy flew out of there and surprised me. How dare you? But look at that. We've got our soul meter all the way filled up just by hitting these dudes. So might as well heal. And then, here we go. Now, look. The larva that we rescued, or little bug guy that we rescued, goes back to his house here. And this man is like, thank you for rescuing. And every time you rescue some of these, come back and visit this guy because he gives you focus. That bigger, Geo, that bigger chunk there was a 10 stack of Geo. And so he just rewards you every time you are rescuing these things. So you want to be on the lookout for these little grubs or larvae. They come back here and live once you save them. And you can hear them audibly. They kind of like make a little crying or, you know, alert noise like a baby. And if you hear that little noise, you know that there's one nearby. You might not be able to see it, but if you explore everywhere around, you'll get a sense of like, where is this thing? There we go. Okay. All right. Now, earlier, by the way, when I was practicing my pogo on these guys and I was getting hit, I was going back to the bench to restore. You don't actually have to do that. You can, of course, just use your focus if you have soul meter and get it back and heal that way. I'm in the habit of being further in the game where enemies do a lot of damage and you can't just use focus to restore all of your health as easily. So I'll just go back to a bench to restore everything. But at this stage of the game, you can nicely just get your hit points back and then use your focus and then hit a few guys and it fills back up. So I kind of have forgotten how convenient that is, and let's make that clear. All right, so I have 154. It's not much. I want to get 220. I really want to get 220 because I want to buy the compass. Oh boy. I also want to practice my pogo. And I'm bad at it. Okay, that guy's gone. By the way, this hallway is a nice place to come for getting Geo. There's a lot of enemies that just are going to go in a straight line. This is a spike, and they're pretty easy. So you can just kind of clear this out and keep fighting them. This dude right here, if you dodge the spike, at the end of the line, the Rhino Man. Oh, he didn't respawn right away. I guess different screens operate in different ways. Oh, you know what it was. Well, no, I don't know what it was. Anyway, maybe you have to wait a certain amount of time, or maybe it's just certain screens respawn and some don't. Like, when I went down to see Cornifer before, that entire vertical map screen had everybody respawn. This one, not so much. All right, let's go over here to this lit up room, see what's going on here. And oh, this is the big guy. So you want to see how hard the big guy hits? You can. You can bop him. And then he hit us with a shockwave. Ouch. Right? Ow. Ow. I'm just going to stand here and see if I can heal up. I can. And he hit me for 2. He hit me, and he killed me. That is a good example of doing badly, but we update the map, and I like to just kind of fight guys and see what their attack pattern is and see how hard they hit for. So what we figured out is that guy, shockwave hits for 1, and his big attack hits for 2. You can stagger him a little bit with attacks from the nail, but right now he feels hard. Now, that being said, you could easily defeat him if you get the timing right, and are a better player than me. Now look at my soul gauge. It's cracked. And what this means is I can't get maximum soul because the gauge won't fill up all the way until I get my body back. Now if I look at the map, let's look at it actually. You can see I filled in a lot of this map. When I died, I went to the bench, and you see the kind of glowing eyes on over to the right of the map. That's my shadow that I need to go defeat. Now don't worry, your shadow is not very hard. You just need to hit it a couple of times and it will go. But you want to, oh boy, you want to get there, let me heal, and kill it to get all your stuff back. So I have 10 Geo right now, right? Remember how much I had? It's tragic. It's not like Dark Souls, though, where you don't need to kill the guy that killed you or something like that, or hit it. This dude right here, 1, there's my shadow, 2, and we got it back. And you could see that our entire soul gauge has been repaired, and we got all of the Geo that we had lost, and we're back. We don't have to fight that guy. He's right there. So it's usually pretty simple to get your body back unless it's super far away from where your bench was. Now let's just kind of explore a little bit more. You can see there's like a wooden archway over here. What's through here? Let's find out. Okay. It's like a gem mine of some kind. And you always want to poke around, look for, you know, secrets, things to explore. And, oh, there's somebody down there. Who's this? Let's talk. Oh, bury my mother, pale and slight. Bury my father with his eyes shut tight. Bury my sisters 2 by 2. And then when you're done, let's bury me too. That's a great song. Haha, do you know that one? It's one of my favorites. We can sing something else if you like. This is Mila. You start singing and I'll join in. I bet you have a beautiful singing voice. So what are you down here for? If you came to get wealthy, just look around. These mines are still bursting with riches. There's plenty for everyone. Just grab a pick and join in. What a nice attitude. Oh, bury the knight with her broken nail. Bury the priest, something about a crown. I can't remember the rest of that one. Maybe I'll just hum it. And okay, that's the end of it. All right. So Mila's down there singing and chipping away. And there is what looks to be an elevator over here. And there is. So the elevator, you just walk on it and you go up. Notice that passage over there. A lot of these have triggers. Let's go to this way. See what's over here. And it is our buddy who restores our soul. So let's use this. I mean, you know, our soul meter was down anyway. Replenish that to full. Let's drop down. Make sure there's no secret over here. And then let's step on this and ride it on up. Let's see what's over here. I'm going to go to the left first. And it's a dead end. And so I'll just jump over and go to the right. What's over here? Oh, yep. I was going to say, watch out. This floor looks like it wants to crumble, and it will. So let me see if I can just kind of jump over it without crumbling it. And we did, but to be honest, there's really nothing over here anyway. So what happens if we stand on this and, oh, it doesn't crumble. Notice how it's kind of like shaking, like it wants to crumble, but it doesn't. We can downward attack and we can do something, but we do not yet have the ability to get through this. And in Metroid-Vania fashion, if you notice a door that's locked or a place you can't reach, like that kind of area where it looked like we needed a wall jump or something, it's time to move on. So this is as far as we can go this way. Let's keep exploring. Let's turn around and check out some other passages in this direction. You don't really have to, by the way, explore like I'm doing. I'm just kind of showing off different parts of the map, and you could just stand around the main area of Dirtmouth and just farm money and buy all of Iselda's things before you move on. That's totally cool. All right. I like to try to do both, but I don't want to risk it too much because I don't want to lose all my geos. Like, we have a good amount right now. Oh, boy. Speaking of losing my geos, you saw that spike that dropped down. All right. Whenever I see a spike, I always just look for more. I'm like, are there more of you? All right, here's a rhino. And we'll just kind of jump him. And there's enough room here for us to easily just fight this guy by jumping over him. All right, fantastic. And let's see what's through here. All right, here's a jumping guy. I think we've actually been this way. And you can actually hit this guy when he jumps above you with the upward strike. And get all his geo. Rhino. Enough space to just easily walk that guy around. You can hit this guy from below, underneath him. You just you jump an upward strike and attack through the platform. All right, we're getting there. Oh, you hear that grub up there crying. We want to get there. Unfortunately, we just don't have the ability. Oh, getting hit by that guy is so bad. We don't have the ability yet. Even if we were to pogo this guy, it's just not enough space. It's not enough distance. Get some cash. All right. Oh, let me try to time this right. See if I can get how far I... You know, that's about how far I got. So right now, no thank you. Well, no. I mean, I want to get it, but I just don't have the ability. All right, let's get all this geo. Look at that. And so we will come into vertical passage. Like this. And collect some geo. This is again why I don't like this. Sometimes the geo just falls down and it's annoying to gather it. And that's 220. Okay. Pick these up. Beautiful. Oh boy, that I knew I had timed that badly as soon as I left the platform edge. I tried to think about if I could get a downward nail strike in there, and it just... my world crumbled and I took damage. But like I said, I just don't really stress about it. Like, yeah, I'm going to get hit a lot. I'm bad. But I just love this game. I'm having fun with it. There we go. That's a downward strike pogo chain on that guy. And let's hit back as soon as we can to Dirtmouth so that we can, before we die and lose all of these geos, get ourselves that compass. So we're going to go here. And I'm going to talk to Zelda Bafanada, and I'm going to buy the Wayward Compass. And we're going to purchase it. And we've done it. And so we've collected a charm. That's right. I keep calling them trinkets. They're called charms. Equip a charm to activate its powerful abilities. To equip a charm, open the charms menu while resting at a bench. All right. So you can't equip it in the field. You have to equip it at a bench. Just like you have to use a bench to rest and to fill in your map. I'm going to go here. We're updating the map. To equip a charm, open the menu by pressing the center button, at least for me, and you get this screen. Now from here, you can see which charms you have equipped. We have none. Which you have available. Look how many there can be. Right now we just have this one, and I equip it. And I actually have room. You see how it says equipped, and then below it says notches. I'm using 1 out of the 3 notches total that I could use. This only takes up 1 notch. I start with 3. You can get more notches to equip more later, but right now you have 3, and this takes 1 of the 3. And now, check this out. When I open the map, well, at this point, now that we have another screen, so when you push the button, you don't automatically go to the map. You go, you have your inventory, you have your charm, and you have your map. Now, in the inventory, by the way, the quill that we purchased, it's right here. It just shows up. We have the map and the quill. And I'm going to go to the map, and I'm going to look at Dirtmouth, and you see that there's a blinking cursor where I am. That's what the cursor is doing, or the charm that we got is doing. The compass points to where you are. So when you're looking at the map, you can see where you are on the map. I love this. It's hard for me to really gauge precisely where I'm at without this, so I tend to have this equipped quite a lot, especially early in the game. Like if I'm going to fight a boss and my location doesn't matter, sure, I'll switch it off. But for exploring, I like this a good bit. And I think it's a tremendous thing to purchase. So now we have purchased that, and we have filled in some map. We talked about the downward strike, the upward strike, and we're doing great. Everyone, I hope you're still enjoying this series and finding this to be useful and fun, and I hope you're enjoying playing Hollow Knight on your own. Thanks so much for watching. Please post any questions you have in the comments below, and I'd love to help you out. Take care.